I'm sure you're feeling very good about winning that match, man. So congrats on that.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, feeling great. My stars had me today.
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview, this time covering VCT Americas Stage 1 2025 for playoffs. My guest at this time is NaturE of Evil Geniuses coming off of their match against Cloud9, in which they came out victorious 2-0 to thus move on to the second round of the lower bracket in said playoff phase. And so, NaturE, thank you so much for the opportunity for this interview. Congrats on the victory, taking down Cloud9 when a lot of people were kind of looking at them as the winners. You guys came out on top. So, gotta ask you the first question. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thank you for having me, by the way. But that was a big dub because, I mean, like I said, the stars really popped off today. Yay Star himself, and then Icy had really big game on Killjoy. He was really excited to play that as his debut. We've been saying it so much. 6,000 rounds on Killjoy, this, that, and the other. Because I mean, he used to be a Senti player, and well, it shows.
Definitely showed indeed, and it was one that was definitely very needed against a team like Cloud9, which, as I said, people looked at as the favorite for this match and favorite to move on in this playoff bracket. And I want to ask you first and foremost the stars that you mentioned, Ye and IC. I mean, for Ye, many people looked at this match as a statement game from him, given his past history with Cloud9 and everything beyond that, and also like it'd be fair to say it was a statement game for Icy, given his track record with G2 and how not much respect was given to his name prior to today. How big of an impact did they provide to the team, and how this match went down from your point of view?
Oh, I mean, without them, we would have lost 100%. I think that, the core three of us, Derek, me, and Superman, we had really, really good control. We were calming for them very well. And like that wins rounds as well, absolutely. But when you have two people on hitting every single shot, that's really important in this game as well. I mean, you just can't win off macro entirely. And I would say like our macro was really, really good today. I I myself wasn't like shooting insane today, right? And Superman, we always bring him up. He's always shooting. Derek's always shooting, but we didn't have to. We focused on the macro, told us what we're gonna do in the middle of the round, stuff like that, and our shooter shot. You know what I mean? And that's what makes star teams. That's what I would say.
It's definitely what you guys want to see out of these two players. It kind of feels like this is the quintessential Evil Geniuses formula that you guys should show every day, right?
Oh, absolutely. This needs to be an everyday showing. I feel like that's just still what we're trying to get to, right? Even there were some rounds that slipped away that shouldn't have slipped away from us, especially on like the ecos were pretty close or we got thrifted. So like there's still things absolutely to clean up, but this has to be the starting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I want to dive into the series real quick for this conversation. I mean, you guys set the tone from the outset on Fracture, your chosen map pick, and going up front 7-1 in defensive side, and then continue that momentum all the way to the very end, winning 13-9. I want to ask you, you're sort of like, and also on top of that, just kind of making a little bit of a switch into the composition with just one agent, putting in, I believe, the cipher in for the Killjoy. Two-part question: the change onto the agent for Ye, and also what led to you guys starting off very well on that map and having to like then close it out in comfortable fashion, I would say.
Okay, well, I would say the agent change, it was more of like a comfort thing for Ye. And we had to do a little bit of like deep diving, thinking about like other teams that are playing Cypher and stuff like that. A lot of what we thought about was M80 was playing it and tier two, and Bao was their Cypher at the time. And how he was reaggressing with like the duelist or whoever his site partner was, and just like still trying to like skirmish fights 24/7. That's what they were really good at. So yeah, he asked coach, they talked about it for a little bit, and then that was kind of like the focus on his side of things. And obviously the skirmishes went really well. I mean, he aced on pistol, so anybody that had nerves or was a little anxious definitely got to breathe after that because we knew we were good. Uh, in terms of like it being 7-1, I feel like our game plan was just really good against theirs. We were in practice, we were fighting against like the sands pinch and stuff like that, and we were talking about it a lot. Or we and like this match, we were reminded, coach reminded me and Superman said like, get ready to do the smoke door. Nick, you've been playing this really well. I just if this neon is going to slide out, we just don't. We want to smoke. Make sure we get this skirmish off, then go back, and like reset stuff like that. And that was kind of like our focus in some of the scrims because the fight wasn't going very well, but it looked very good when we were watching it back and stuff like that. And it kind of just like played into our game plan. Like I was spamming people door, Derek was spamming people door. They were going through, and we were kind of just killing them. And then like people just saw the vision in the game plan from the get go. And once we're all on the same page like that, I mean that's what 7-1 shows. When we start 7-1, and I mean it slipped away a little bit, I would say on attack because we the round we had Ray's rocket, Icy died. And I was just like, hey, you bait us next time. You have this rocket. We're being chilling. Don't even have to let this round go. And that's literally pretty much what I said in between matches. I was just like, game was perfect. We had everybody had their few mess ups. We focused on making sure we get these ults off at the important times. We're good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was definitely one that helped you guys continue the march towards potentially, or not really potentially, but actually finishing this series with a 2-0 result. Still, though, there was a little bit of a time in which Cloud9 was poised to close this map, make it 1-1, tie the series, and move on over to split. And it doesn't get any worse than being in a 12-10 hole. Plenty of pressure for you guys, and maybe also plenty of pressure for them. But you guys were able to force overtime and then win it 15-13, multiple overtimes after that. I mean, generalizing the entire craziness of that map, what do you feel set the difference for yourself between EG and C9?
Well, I mean, I would say the biggest round of the game was 12-10. It was me and Ye that died at B. He legged that up, or he legged the Oxy, like Jet Knives. He was updrafted. And I was like, wow, he went through the harbor wall, killed me because they like cascaded. And I was like, oh, I mean, I probably just made this go to a map 3. And then I watched the 3v5, and our control in the 3v5 felt like it was 5v3 us. That's what I would say was the biggest difference here. They were just getting picked off by, I mean, we were comboing the Sova shock dart and the Viper Molly, and then we got a shock dart kill. All 3 of my players that were alive, it was Derek, Icy, Superman, were 100 HP in a 3v5 after the round was over. That shows that no matter what, we can win the round, and we believe in that. And the control just in that entire round, everybody was on the same page the entire time, and that's the difference maker to me, team to team.
Mm-hmm. It kind of felt like when you guys were put into a pressure situation, you guys were able to come out of it on top. Because in a lot of ways, like when people are put into these high stakes environments and having to, be obligated to close the game and round and help their team win a match, it kind of like overwhelms them in a sense. But for you guys, it wasn't really like that, right? Kind of felt like that from your point of view, correct?
I would say, just to reiterate the question, I would say that like in these high pressure situations when we're down or something like that, I think we're all very comfortable with bringing it back. If that's what you're talking about, like the round is never over in our book. I think that's why people try to call us like slow and stuff like that right now. Like crew, and then we're saying like we're playing so slow and stuff like that. No, we're playing very controlled. We're really focused on the round W at the end, not how it was made. How did they get to the W? That is what we're trying to cook up and figure out, whether it's 3v5, 4v5. I mean, it's high pressure, right? And there was some rounds that we almost like recovered. There was like I was bottom site, Derek was yellow, and I think Mitch diffused or like got the diffuse off by like 0.5 seconds. And Derek was like visually upset. I'm like, bro, it was 2v3 or 2v4. We should have had it. We both know it. It is what it is. We keep building on this. You know what I mean? Like even when we're down this much, we were so controlled this round.
And I want to ask you just sort of on the significance of yourself, because I believe it's been a while, or maybe you haven't really been in a playoff kind of situation. You can kind of like correct me on that aspect, but like focusing on the tier 1, but on paper this is probably the most important match that you had to play so far in your career, and to come out of it on top. Not only how good does it feel for the team to actually show signs of improvement, compared to like early on in this year, and also like all of 2024, but also for yourself, just to show like, hey, you can perform when you need to perform, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say the last time I was in playoffs was it was the Madrid playoffs where we beat G2 to make playoffs for kickoff, and then we lost against Loud in the 3 mapper. And for me, my performance was really not good in that match. I remember that match clearly, actually. And like Superman will say as well, he pied 3-14 on the last map, and we always joke about these things, but I mean, we've only improved like in playoffs as well. I didn't have the best day today, like, but I'm still very confident with how we won. That I mean, when I'm having the good day as well, that I mean, we're just gonna soar, you know. And I think that there wasn't very much. I wouldn't say I felt pressure at all playing today. I think we have a big match coming up against G2 or Sen, and that's what we have to let the pressure is going to be there, obviously, and we just have to like conquer it and feel good about this win that we had and be confident in one another. Because like to me, this is the step up. We beat Sen. I'll tell you right now, we beat Sen, we qualify.
Hmm.
I mean, I say Sen because I don't think G2 will lose. Just saying. I'll put it on the interview.
I think according to the bracket, it might be Crew or MIBR that you guys will have to face.
I think
Um,
the bracket's wrong. I'm like 90% on that, by the way, because I'm pretty sure I was just told it's Sen or G2.
okay,
Maybe
okay.
I'm tripping.
Well,
Maybe I'm tripping. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's that.
all right. You're just gonna make it confusing for me. I'll just leave it up to the future version of myself to figure that out. So no worries on that. Either way, still moving on to the playoffs. Next round, awaiting your opponent, whoever that is. What's the confidence level like for yourself?
I'm very confident, especially like after like Ye having the big game, IC having the big game. I think they're going to start off with a lot of confidence in this next match. And I mean, Derek and Superman, they're not going to be upset with how they played. We had really good control in the rounds because of the comms that we had. And as long as we're focused on that, I think everybody's super, super confident. So I'm feeling very good.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys are able to continue this march in due time, much more sooner rather than later in this playoff bracket. And so, NaturE, thank you so much. Really do appreciate the opportunity for this interview once again. Congrats on the W, and of course, best of luck for the next match in a few days.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for having me.